Hello, great people. The country home of embattled Senator Natasha Akpabio has been attacked, and the aim of the attackers is apparently to harm her or summarily execute her. This is the second time that our country home is being attacked since the altercation between her and Senate President Godswill Akpabio started. The unique thing about this attack is that, when gunmen, when they storm a particular location, they do so with arms and ammunition. But the unique thing about this latest attack is that the gunmen even storm her house with charms, and you would be wondering that is Senator Natasha Akpabio, is she that notorious that you need to even attack her own with charms? And is Senator Natasha such a big threat to some people in high places in Nigeria that they want her dead at all costs? In a moment, I'll be playing you the report of that particular incident as reported by TVC. I won't be playing you the original clip of the interrogation of one of the suspects because they spoke Ebira language. Shout out to the good people of Ebira land. I don't understand your language, and I know that many people don't understand as well, and that is why I have adopted the report of TVC. I will be playing you some of it. Then when we come back, we'll be dissecting the issues. Who wants Natasha Akpabio dead? Why is Natasha such a big threat to some people? And what are the lessons in this attack for the Nigerian government, the Kogi State government, Senator Natasha Akpabio, the Tinubu government, Godswill Akpabio, and Nigerians at large? If something had happened to Senator Natasha Akpabio, what is the consequence? We'll be looking at also the politics behind the persecution, or if you like, prosecution of Senator Natasha Akpabio. We'll be doing all this and a whole lot more on this episode with your sure plug, Dr. Omosoladeji. First, let us watch this report from TVC. Then we'll come back for some great discussion. Let's watch it.
Well, the Kogi State Police Command has arrested one suspect following a fresh attack on the family home of suspended Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpabio. The suspect, identified as Jose Suberu, was apprehended on Tuesday at the scene of the attack in Ihima, Okehi local government area. Now, according to a police spokesperson, SP William Aya, the man confessed to participating in the assault on Senator Natasha's family home. And the statement from the senator's media office on Wednesday alleged that he is a ritualist and a native of the community, and he has ties, apparently, to Natasha's political opponents. Now, he was armed with a cutlass and charms, and he was nearly lynched by locals before being rescued and detained by police. We know Natasha is Kogi's sweetheart. The assailants reportedly vandalized several of her home windows during the attack.
There you have it. You just watched the report of the attack on the country home of Senator Natasha Akpabio. This is the second time that a country home is being attacked, and the attackers came with not only guns but charms. Who wants Senator Natasha Akpabio dead, and why do they want to do so at all costs? I will be sharing with you 7 efforts that have been made to bring Senator Natasha Akpabio down. Before I go into other associated issues, the first one you will recall is that of suspension. When Senator Natasha Akpabio rejected the seat that was allocated to her by the Senate leadership, the same Senate leadership suspend her, and she has been on suspension for 6 months. So that suspension is expected to break Senator Natasha Akpabio. That is one of the efforts that have been made to bring her down. The second one is the failed recall. You would remember that the political elite in Kogi State, they assembled themselves and allegedly in connivance with the Senate leadership, particularly Senate President Godswill Akpabio, to initiate a recall against Senator Natasha Akpabio, but that recall process is the rocks. Now, that is the second one. The third effort to bring Natasha down at all costs, I'm going to 7. The third one is the first attack on our country home. You will recall that at a time when Senator Natasha Akpabio was to return home for a get-together with the people in her community, her country home was attacked after she has left, because the attackers, when they saw a convoy of cars, they thought she is the one in that particular car, not knowing that it was her brother. Senator Natasha Akpabio sent her brother home to kind of like put modalities in place for a constituency project. The attackers got the information and they thought the senator was around, then they attacked her home. Now, the first attack on her home is the third effort to bring down Natasha. Now, the fourth one is the federal government first court case. the case that the Nigerian government instituted against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, which is the one she was arraigned for recently and granted 50 million naira bail. That court case was to break her apparently because Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is the complainant. So how will you charge the complainant and you leave the person that she is complaining of plotting to assassinate her and you leave them to be walking free? But then somebody that is complaining, you arraign her. So I see it as an effort to make sure that the senator is broken and to make sure that the senator is kind of like subjected to public ridicule or perhaps imprisonment. Now, the fifth effort that have been made to bring the female senator down is that of the uninformed second case. Now, there is a second case in court. You will recall that the federal government filed a 6-count charge. The first case is a 3-count charge. That was the one that she was granted 50 million naira bail. But the second case is a 6-count charge. And the cases are similar. My ardent viewers will recall that I made a video whereby I made a comparative analysis of the first case and the second case. Now, there's so much similarity in them. But the big thing is that they didn't inform Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. They want to make a kind of like kangaroo, kind of like setup to twist the hand of the judge to give a warrant of arrest. But then Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan got wind of the information and she was able to act fast. So that uninformed, by that I mean they didn't inform her on time. That uninformed second case was also one of the efforts to bring her down. And a similar fashion, the sixth effort is the application, like I said earlier, for a warrant of arrest. If the judge had granted the application for a warrant of arrest and detention, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan right now will be in police custody or perhaps in prison based on the second case. Now, the seventh effort that have been made within a short period of time to bring the senator down is this second attack on her home. So you can see that within a short period of time since the altercation between her and Senate President Godswill Akpabio started, she has been facing different efforts to bring her down. But the good news is that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has always triumphed. But the big question is that for how long will she be able to triumph and how will all this end? Now, let us go into other associated issues, which is that first, we need to thank God, say, man, no be God. Let us just imagine it. Let's thank God, say, man, no be God. You remember that song? We thank God, say, man, no be God. That was the first thing that came to my mind when I heard that our home has been attacked again. Else, if man are God, definitely Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan would have been long gone by now. So let us first give thanks that man no be God. And one thing that gives me serious concern is that we can tag Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan as a person of concern because she has a case with the federal government. She has an altercation with Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and all these issues are public-spirited cases, which means that the Nigerian masses are interested in knowing how the case would go. So she is a person of concern to almost every Nigerian. The home and the family of such a person ought to be duly secured. Sometimes we mistake it that, well, it is only people that are in the good books of government that needs adequate security. No, somebody like Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, despite not in the good books of people in high places in the current government of Nigeria, she also needs adequate security, and not just only her, but her family as well. So you want to ask yourself that our country home was attacked the second time and the first time, and it's occurring again. So is it that the Nigerian security agencies have not learned any lessons in that regard? And that brings us to the question of why the Senate president and the Senate leadership will ratify that our security should be withdrawn. You are exposing the woman to unnecessary risk because you've withdrawn her security. She no longer has a police escort or DSS escort. She is living her life like a normal Nigerian citizen, despite the fact that she is a person of interest and concern to a lot of people. So you may want to ask yourself, the way the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government and the Senate leadership headed by Godswill Akpabio is running the country, you might want to put a question mark to it, because if anything had happened to Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, it would have dragged the name of Nigeria in the mud. But one thing to learn in all of this is the shamelessness of Nigerian politicians. Nigerian politicians have been acting in a relentlessly shameless manner. By that I mean that they have been relentless in the pursuit to bring down the senator, and they have done so in a very shameless manner. What I can say is that Natasha Akpoti is not Nigeria's problem. Bandits are Nigeria's problem. Terrorists are Nigeria's problem. Murderous S-men killing people in Benue State are Nigeria's problem. Kidnappers, armed robbers, these are Nigerian problems. Inflation is Nigeria's problem. Unemployment is Nigeria's problem. These are issues that the Nigerian government and the people in high places should be focusing on. Natasha Akpoti is not Nigeria's problem. And the earlier people in high places learn that and they devote their energy to the development of Nigeria, the better for every one of us. But what I can say as a party note to Senator Natasha Akpoti is that please not lose guard though. This is Nigeria, and in Nigeria, definitely, when we are talking about Nigeria, definitely anything can happen. When you are in Nigeria, you must not lose guard. If you are in the diaspora, you feel lose guard small. But if you are in Nigeria, you must not lose guard, because it is that same Nigeria that MKO Abiola was killed. We didn't hear anything as regards the killers till today. Bola Ige was killed in that country. Dele Giwa, the veteran journalist, was murdered in that country. Murtala Mohammed was killed in that particular country. Funshaw Williams was murdered in that particular country. Dipo Dino, popularly called Didi Direct, was murdered in that country. And all these people, there have been no justice as regards their murder. So you may want to imagine that if injustice can happen to these people till now, definitely you want to ask yourself that who is Senator Natasha Akpoti in the list of people that I've mentioned people that are below her, and I've mentioned people that are above her. So the senator should please not lose guard, and I wish her the best of luck. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past video. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.